Jason Ramsberg. I'm the creative director for entertainment here at Universal Studios Singapore at Resorts World Sentosa. I have worked for the company for 3.5 years now. I actually worked for Universal Studios in Florida and Universal Studios in Hollywood before I came here to Singapore. What is the difference between Halloween Horror Nights 2 and Halloween Horror Nights 1? Well, first of all, scale. This event is much larger than last year. This year we have 3 haunted houses and many more scare zones. We have spared no expense, and it's a massive event. It's definitely the biggest Halloween event in Southeast Asia, and we're hoping to make it the biggest Halloween event in Asia. In Hollywood, you will find the House of Dolls. We have created a character known as the Puppet Master. And basically, he lost his family when he was a child, and his dad owned a puppet store. Once he lost his family, he became demented and deranged, and now what he does is he takes people coming into his store to shop for toys, and he turns them into puppets. So as guests enter the House of Dolls, they enter the front of his store. They move through the front of the store back into his workshop, into his drafting room, and finally they meet him at the end of the street. From there, we move into New York Street. This zone is called Total Lockdown. Basically, what has happened is a radioactive toxic chemical was found in the streets of New York City. A tractor trailer was transporting the chemical out of New York City, and a helicopter crashed into it, spilling the chemical all over the streets. So now what's happened is the President of the United States has declared it a quarantine zone, and now nobody's allowed in and nobody's allowed out. And rumor has it that some of the people inside of Total Lockdown are mutating, they're transforming as a result of the radioactive substance. Our longest, biggest haunted house to date in Soundstage 28 is known as the Dungeon of Damnation. Inside of the dungeon, the Undertaker, who reaps the souls of its victims through a series of tortures. You enter into the dungeon and you move through the cave. Every room is a different torture. For example, we have the room of the bone crushed, where victims get their bones crushed. And we have people getting their tongues ripped. We have people being disemboweled, having their intestines taken out. We have people being frozen. We have people being set to fire. That is the Dungeon of Damnation. In the Bizarre Bazaar on the streets of Egypt, outside of the Revenge of the Mummy attraction, we have a marketplace that has gone wrong. An Egyptian marketplace featuring bone collectors. The main star of this zone is the High Priest, and the High Priest is torturing people on different Egyptian tortures. And you actually can see a dance there. There's a flash mob. It's basically a fun and funky, whacked out marketplace. It is the 1930s in Chinatown of New York City. The triads have moved in from Shanghai, and they've started to force taxes on the different gangs and the different citizens of this area of New York. Well, the streets have revolted, and now it has turned to death. The triads are now coming back from the dead to haunt the streets of New York in Death Alley. The Insanitarium is a hospital for the criminally insane that is run by Dr. Dementia. She is a torturous doctor who takes the different patients in the hospital and sends them through series of tortures. It's an insane asylum gone wrong, the Insanitarium. Auditioning the cast members is quite an exciting process. We had close to 500 people audition, and we actually have close to 400 performing here. So we're lucky that we had the turnout. Because we're such a large event with 400 performers, we thought we were going to be taking anybody that we could get, but in actuality, our event last year got such a good word out on the street that we had quite a good turnout. Basically, they come in to audition, and myself and a few others are on the panel. And we ask them to give us their most terrifying scream, and then we ask them if they were to scare us, what would they do? And I wish you could have seen it. We see some of the most bizarre, different things occur. People walking upside down, people contorting their face in different manners. There is quite a lot of insane Halloween freaks here in Singapore. We have a massive staff working on this. Hundreds of electrical technicians, technical guys, hundreds of set builders. We have 400 performers. Every single zone has its own producer, its own production manager, and its own show director. So for example, I lead a team of people that direct just the performers in one zone. So we have a director for the Dungeon of Damnation, we have a director for Total Lockdown that is entirely dedicated to the performers of just that zone. And every single role actually has two actors in the role, so that we always have that actor on street from the second the event opens till the second it closes. So for every performer you see, there's actually a counterpart as well. Translating the brand of Halloween Horror Nights to Singapore was actually been quite effortless. What we've done is we've taken in classic Western scary concepts and mixed them with Malay, Chinese, Indian, regional ghosts as well. But honestly, the brand Halloween Horror Nights translated to Singapore somewhat effortlessly. It really seems to be working very well. I think for those of you that are about to come to the event, yes, it is very scary, but I'd like to mention that we really focus on making the experiences as genuine and real as possible. The makeup is fantastic. The sets are phenomenal. The lighting is phenomenal. The sound is phenomenal. We've really put the attention to detail to make these different experiences real. So while you'll be scared, I hope that you take the time to look around and really immerse yourself in the experience, because the quality is through the roof. Basically, to explain how we transform Universal Studios Singapore from a daytime family park into a nighttime horrifying experience, it's pretty amazing. We have, for each zone, we have an army of people waiting back of house that as soon as the day guests are cleared out of the area, the set guys immediately move on, the technical guys immediately move on, park operations immediately moves on, and we can actually transform New York, for example. It only takes 12 minutes to take it from the daytime operation to the nighttime operation, because we have so many people doing it. So in 30 to 45 minutes, we actually transform the park from the daytime experience to the nighttime experience. We started our first creative meetings for Halloween Horror Nights 2 in November of last year. What's up, everybody? This is Jason Ramsberg. I am the creative director for entertainment here at Universal Studios Singapore, only at Resorts World Sentosa, and I look forward to seeing you at Southeast Asia's most terrifying experience, Halloween Horror Nights 2. Mwah!